We cannot make this happen again. So please understand, we're not here just to make us laugh. We're here to send a message to the United States of America to make sure that we need to keep dignity, honor, and respect in our country. We can't have people coming over and using us as a doormat. It's over. We're all fed up, once again, I should say it. But this is it. This is why we're doing this, for people to reach out to my brother's podcast, to make them understand, you know what, not for nothing, you guys, you're nice looking brothers. You all my life, we didn't fight with each other. We were brought up with be kindness. And we don't want anybody to ruin that for us. And this is why there's a lot of guys out there like us that understand that what we're saying makes a lot of sense.
Hello and welcome to Along the Way Life's Journey. We're co-hosts here today. There's something a little different. Usually, I am the host, Carl Buccellato, the creator of this format, and I have had many times a guest on this show who you should know by heart by now. And he's sitting right next to me right now. He's my brother, Joseph, officially known as Chaplain Giuseppe Buccellato. So, Chaplain, how are
you? It's a pleasure. It's absolutely a pleasure. I'm so honored to be here with my brother in the studio and film again because it's an honor to do this. I just hope that my friend Ed and my great service officer Ed would be here with us, but he can't, but someday we'll do it with Ed as well.
Okay, so Joe is talking about his service officer from the South, from the American Legion.
Right.
And they are both officials for American Legion in the Tampa region. And they do significant work there, doing great work for the veterans. They assist in many different functions, everything from events, from dinners and honorariums and so forth, through funerals, through the various programs that are necessary to serve the veterans. And Joe, I know that that's a very dear thing to your heart. And you and I had a little conversation this afternoon in the car. I don't want to get too far into politics, but I think this is important for us to mention to the people who are watching this show. You know, the name of the show is Along the Way Life's Journey. And really, I think everybody understands what that means. As we travel through life, we meet different people, we confront different events, we see and hear things. We are part and parcel of history. And sometimes they come upon us in a way that are startling. We were sitting in the car today and we're listening to the radio, the Fox News radio. Yes, we are both Republican conservatives. So we were watching and listening to Fox News. And the announcement was that the Veterans Administration in 2022 paid $90 million in aid and support for medical support to illegal aliens. Illegal aliens who have no real right in this nation, and we spent $90 million in VA funds. And how did this happen? This tragedy happened? They were mandated to do so by ICE, the Federal Investigation System for Immigration. And this funds came out of the Veterans Administration funds at the same time that there are 400,000 claims by veterans that have been left unattended to and unpaid. So Joe, as a veteran, as a disabled veteran, because you served your country well, you were disabled, you received disability payments for it, minor, but disability payments nonetheless. How does it feel knowing that hundreds of thousands of people who came into this country illegally participated in $90 million worth of funds that was supposed to be for men like you and tens of thousands more who had injuries serving our country? How does that feel, Joe?
Well, it feels horrible for me and a lot of other guys because we were the people that gave our lives to God, not to the Army, Marines, Air Force, Navy, or even the Coast Guard. We did this because we realized that if we stand behind the flag and stand for our country, the country will stand for us. Now, thank God we have a congressman, Gus Bilarakis, in our 12th district, where I come from in Newport Richey, that is all for us veterans, because his whole life his father's life, actually, because he took over when Michael left and he became the congressman, is only for our veterans. He's top guy, and we are so proud of him. These men that will only stand behind us, that goes to Washington to make them understand that our veterans are the people that made this country. Because if it wasn't for the soldier, we wouldn't have a country.
Yeah.
It's not the politician that made the country. It's not the doctor who made the country. It's not the lawyer who made the country. It's the veteran. It's the soldier who took it upon himself to take over and be there for everyone that belongs under the United States of America. And this is our land. And anybody that tries to take over our land is going to have a lot of trouble in the long run. And I hope our new administration that's going to be coming in, Mr. President Donald Trump again, which I pray and everyone else does too, for him to win, because he's the only guy that cares for our job and our country and our people, especially our veterans. And I am so proud to be a chaplain in the American Legion, because what we do, my commander and I, Ed, he's a wonderful man. His family has 175 years of service in our country, and he stands by everything that I believe in. And we go to a lot of places, hospitals, nursing homes, rehabilitation centers, funeral parlors, cemeteries, people's homes. We get stuff from people in the street to say, come over and help our veterans that need your help. And we go all over. So actually, that's all it's all about. The only idea is that to give up what we really deserve, us veterans that gave our life for our country and giving it to people illegally coming to our country, it's kind of hurting, not only in our physical body, but our minds too, to understand that the wrong people are steering the wheel in this country.
And I think that's the crust of it. You know, as much as the illegals are getting the benefit out of this, I don't really blame them for it. The gates were opened up, the borders were put down. They were told by this administration, come on in, nobody's going to stop you. And then they've been given benefit after benefit after benefit at the cost of the American taxpayer. I don't blame the immigrant. I blame the administration that's in power right now, because they are not fulfilling the rules correctly. They're not following the law. It seems as though we are living in a nation where our government has forgotten that there is a check and balance, and that there are laws that are supposed to be fulfilled, and they ignore them every time they turn around. So I know I'm not usually one person who battles along on this show, although that is part of my character, to say that there's things that are wrong, and we have to, if we don't face up to it, stand up and speak out, well, then who will? I've said over and over again on the show, it's time for America to stand up. Write to your TV news directors, write to your senators, your congressmen, write to the newspapers, get online, get involved, and let it be known, and especially when it comes time to vote. Don't let it be robbed from this great country. Don't let us fall into a nation that's dictatorial, which is what I'm hearing so much garbage back and forth from certain parties at this point. You know, we're going to lose our democracy. Well, we're losing it because of what this administration is doing. You can't have a democracy if you censor free speech. You can't have a democracy if you're involved with irregularities in the voting booth. You can't have a democracy if you have no borders and you don't protect your country. When you open the borders and you let illegal aliens in at the rate of millions of people, we're not talking about a couple of hundred people. We're not talking even about a couple of thousand people. There's about 12 million people that have come through in the United States so far under Biden's administration. The estimate is that that's what we know about, and it could be as high as 18 million. Now, I remind everyone that the largest, most populated states in the United States are California, Texas, and Florida. Florida has just under 40 million people. That's half the population of the state of Florida. That's more than the population of 16 states. And now here we are in this time when we should be celebrating, you know, the democracy of this nation in an upcoming election. And we hear these ridiculous rules of trying to take a candidate off the ballot box because he's winning in the polls. We hear these ridiculous rules that are so far against the Federalist Papers, with the control of states being mandated by the state, and that the federal government is interceding. This is not what this country was born on. This country was born on the freedoms that we all were guaranteed under God, not under the administration, not under one political party or another, but under God. And no one has the right to take it from us. We have been the light on the hill for generations. And that's why so many people want to come to this country. And legally, that's fine. We're a country of immigrants. Joe and I both are the prodigy of immigrants that came to the United States around 1900. And they came, they learned English, they became citizens, they raised families, started businesses, and became part of the core of this nation. Joe was saying a moment ago that his friend Ed has been in a military family for 150 years.
175.
175 years. Well, our family's not here that long. The first of our family came in 1900. That means we're here 124 years. But they have been in every battle in the United States, since the United States Army has been fighting since then. Our grandfather came here as an immigrant. He served in World War I in the United States Army. Upon returning home, he became a citizen of the United States. Our father and both of his brothers and all of his cousins and uncles served in World War II, along with maybe 30 million other Americans. And then Korea, and then Vietnam, and then the Middle East. Our family's been there. And so we know what it means to say, honor the veteran. But we also know what it means. You have to stand for what's right in this country. So, Joe, I'm babbling along here.
No, that's right. I just want to say one thing. I think my brother is 100% right. But we're supposed to be United States of America. I'll give you one example. I have a DEA agent that's a good friend of mine. And he told us a story that a full bird colonel was standing by the wall that our Trump put up for us to protect our country. And the full bird colonel was talking to Biden when he got into being the president. And Biden says, take the cameras off the top of the wall. This is a true story. And the bird colonel couldn't believe him. Why would you want that to happen? Why would you want that chaos in our country that we don't really need? Why would you need these people jumping over the wall, coming to destroy everything that we probably made gracefully in the eyes of God, that he helped us make it? But he didn't care. And the full bird colonel told my friend, the DEA agent, this is what he wants. He wants chaos in our country. And this is the man, as I said before, I don't want to be repetitious, that's steering the wheel in our country. So we got to realize fast that we can't have this happen again. We were already slapped in the face. We don't need this in our country. This is our home. We can never make anybody take away things that we belong. It's okay that you come from a different country, like my brother said, legally. But don't come to our country to make a mess of it. We don't need it. We need only people with honor, dignity. Because I'll tell you one thing, the guys that we really honor, not only me, that I was a service-connected disabled veteran. I'm not the soldier that's the hero. The hero is the guy who gave the ultimate life sacrifice for our country. They gave their life because they depended on everybody backing them up. And now we have no one backing us up, because everything is chaos and we're fed up with it. The people are fed up with it. We had enough of this. So that's why all us Americans could realize right now, we really need the right guy steering the wheel in our country, a good president, a guy that's not looking to put his hands in everybody's pocket and hurt us with money and this and that. That's why he wanted to clean the swamp out. That's why he has guys like our Congressman, Gus Bilirakis, on his team. A man with integrity and honor that cares so much for our country. It's unbelievable what he does for us. His town hall meetings have thousands and thousands of people that want to go hear him talk, because he knows that he's only here for right. And without being right, then we're done. We're done. Biden's selling all our farmland, so we got to buy our groceries from a different country. Does this make sense to anybody? Because it doesn't make sense for us veterans. And I, as being a chaplain, I don't hate anybody. but I do disagree with what they're doing to our country. It's not only my country. It's not only my brother Carlos' country. It's our country, and we can't have people step all over us anymore.
Okay, and in keeping with the idea that it is our country, I don't want anyone to think we're just sitting here pontificating and that we're blasting off our viewpoints and that this is the way it's going to be. It's a one-way street. No one has a right to speak out against. I'm sure there is some of you out there who disagree with what we're saying. I'm sure there are some of you out there who have been misguided enough to believe that what's been going on in Washington is acceptable. Because it's expedient to the role of power to the administration. Well, I'm going to give you an opportunity. If you disagree, write in. Tell us you disagree. Tell us you have a different point of view. I'd be happy to have you on the show. Be happy to discuss it with you in public view. Talk about the things that you think are wrong. But I'll tell you, as you speak about those things, and as you prepare to come on the show, remember to read the Federalist Papers and the control that is given to the states. Remember to read the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights and all of those things that have been violated so frequently in the last few years. Remember that you have a right as an American citizen to disagree with me and my brother Joe. And you have a right to be here to speak out your name and speak out your belief. But we have a right to speak against the things we think are wrong. And we're doing that today. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know this show got off to a pretty powerful exuberance over here. But why are we here together? Why are these two tremendously handsome senior citizens sitting here on this stage right now? I mean, we are, after all, I mean, it goes without saying we're handsome, but we are also senior citizens. This is my young brother, my baby brother, who just turned 79 years old. And I'm going to be 82 on my next birthday. So, we're not just kids rolling around, playing games without any history, without any forbearance or understanding about what's going on here. So why is Joe here? Well, you can see the sun is shining behind us. The wind is blowing in the breeze.
Wonderful.
Actually, it's raining like hell outside. But I won't even say that. But
It's the truth.
It is the truth. Joe came to visit. Joe lives on the west coast of Florida. I'm on the east coast of Florida. And he and his lovely wife, Lydia, have come to visit my wife, Mary Ellen, and I for the past week. And we've been having a great time together. But how could we possibly let the week go by without speaking to you folks the way we usually do? And you'll just have to forbear it and accept it because this is our show. You always have the right to turn us off. But you have a greater right, and that is to write in, speak up, leave comments. If you like what we're saying, hit like. Let us know it. Give us a comment saying that you like it. If you dislike it, hit dislike and give us a comment. Tell us what you think. Whatever you do, one way or another, subscribe to the channel because that's what this country is about. The ability for free speech. People just like myself who a few years ago at his young age, somebody said to me, a publicist said to me, you're pretty natural on TV. Why don't you start a podcast? And I didn't know what a podcast was. What do I know about podcasts? I'm a senior citizen. And here I are one today. So 2 years later, 100 shows under our belt, and we have an opportunity, because we're Americans, to have free speech, to open a channel so anyone can speak to us. So you call in and you say to Joe, "Hey Joe, aren't you? Don't I recognize you from someone? Didn't you used to be Rudy?" Yes, he was Rudy, and we did all that on this show once upon a time about Rudy.
We did.
We also have a great story about Joe that's in the archives that you have to look up. It's one of the earlier shows, and it talks all about a child sticking a peanut up his nose, and I'm Joe. To exorbitant effect to try and get it out with a bellows from the fireplace and a clamper and a big 10-foot skimmer from a pole to the swimming pool. But that's my brother Joe, because he's 79 years old, but he's still a kid at heart.
I am. Well, you have to be childlike before you get to heaven anyway. God even told us that. But the main thing is, I'm so honored to be here in my brother's home and on his broadcast because he's a man of honor. Our grandfather taught us one thing. The word respect. And that's what the people in the world always would want at any generation. If you respect others, if you're kind to someone else, everybody will be kind to you. Everyone. That's what it's all about, being kind to people. But in the world that we live in today, people are trying to step on us. And we can't let that happen. We're fed up. not only my brother and I, and the
Millions of
soldiers, the
others.
veterans, people in general in the United States is fed up what's going on with this administration. And we all have to come together and understand that we need the right guy in the office, a guy that's not there for himself, his pocket. He don't care about the money. He cares about people. You know why Donald Trump, they hate him? Because he's not a politician. You know why? Because he's a patriot. He cares about the people. That's what it's all about. The thing is, we got to have somebody that has dignity, honor, respect for the country and ourselves. Because you know what? If we don't take control now, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. We cannot make this happen again. So please understand, we're not here just to make us laugh. We're here to send a message to the United States of America to make sure that we need to keep dignity, honor, and respect in our country. We can't have people coming over and using us as a doormat. It's over. We're all fed up, once again, I should say it. But this is it. This is why we're doing this, for people to reach out to my brother's podcast, to make them understand, you know what, not for nothing, you guys, you're nice looking brothers. You all my life, we didn't fight with each other. We were brought up with be kindness. And we don't want anybody to ruin that for us. And this is why there's a lot of guys out there like us that understand that what we're saying makes a lot of sense. So I tell you from the bottom of my heart, being a chaplain, I love everybody, even the people that are bad to us. God wants me to say, I love you. And that's what it's all about. But I'm so disappointed in what people are doing to our country. And I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that feel the same way as Carlo and myself.
And if you are, write in and let us know. Let us know that you agree with our position. Because, you know, the old saying says, great oak trees are grown from little acorns. The slightest movement can cause other people to notice. And if enough people notice and speak out and write out, perhaps we'll have a strength in the election this year.
And we need it.
And we desperately need it. We do need it. For most of my life, I remember the politicians saying, this is the greatest election of all time. We need it more than ever. Well, this time it's true. This is true. We are on the brink of disaster unless we correct it. And we can only correct it by voting in the right people. We must stand up and be counted. We must vote in the right people. Maybe I'm a little overdoing it today, but I don't think so. I had the great fortune yesterday of, you know, because my brother was visiting, my youngest son, Matthew, and his wife came over with their new baby, 10-week-old, beautiful child, Gianna Buccellato. She is just gorgeous, and she stole all our hearts. And one of the things that we said when we were talking to my son, he's fearful for her future. And I am too. I know that these changes that need to take place will not happen overnight. I probably won't live long enough to see them all happen, but she will, and your grandchildren will. And I ask you today, what are you going to do about it? I know what I'm doing about it. We're speaking here today. We're speaking forward. And I'll be writing letters to the newspaper, and I'll be writing letters to the directors of the network news, television news, and to the senators and the congressmen, because somebody has to start speaking out. Your turn. When are you going to do it?
And the time is now, because we can't wait any longer, because before you know it, the election's going to be here. We can't say put this on the back burner anymore. The time is to step up now, step up for our country. If we're really Americans in our heart and we really believe that this is our home, then now is the time to step up. Stand up, because this is what we're all about. Americans never let down. That's why we're called the United States of America, to stay together and strong. And this is what we need to do.
I just heard that the Secretary of State visited the President of Mexico this week. And for the last 2.5 years, we've been told by the administration, there's nothing wrong with the borders. The borders are closed. There's no problem. In spite of the newsreels that showed millions of people coming across illegally. No problem. Now they have sent the Secretary of State to talk to the President of Mexico to ask for help to close the border. You know what the Mexican president has said to the Secretary of State? He wants $80 billion to make it happen. the strongest country on earth, paying fees to one of the weakest countries on earth to close our own border. Does that not sound abysmal to you? Doesn't that sound as though they've already thrown away the keys? Sounds like it to me.
So if this not making you wake up to what we're doing today over here, if this doesn't make you understand how important it is now, right now, not tomorrow, not next month, to realize, to talk to other people, other American people that care about our country, not only people with children and grandchildren, just people that care about the United States of America. You don't want someone else to come in and take over, do you? It's like somebody breaking into your house. Okay, let them take what they want. We're not those kind of people. We're Americans. We have to stand strong together, because once we let down, it's over. If we make these people do it again to us, we're done. So we got to realize this is not a joke. This is real, and it's happening now. Now is the time to act, because not only every veteran, not only anybody that was in the military, it's just everybody in the United States of America that loves their country. If they don't love it, then what are we doing here? We got to protect it because it belongs to us. It's ours. Don't make people take it away from us. And this is what this America needs us to step up and vote for the right man for the job, a guy that loves us. And that's Donald Trump.
So here we are, and I'm reminded at the moment of an old poem written hundreds of years ago by a poet by the name of Don John, immortalized by Ernest Hemingway in his novel For Whom the Bells Toll, where it says, "For each man who drops in battle, I die a little, for I am mankind. For each child who stands and walks, I am renewed, for I am mankind. Ask not for whom the bells toll, they toll for thee. No man is an island unto himself." So, ladies and gentlemen, your bell is ringing. My bell is ringing. Joe's bell is ringing loud and clear. We are here to remind all of us, this is a great country. We just stick together and save it. God bless you all. Hope you have a wonderful 2024. Hope you have a very active January and February where you heed the call, pick up a pen, pick up the phone, tell your friends, maybe while you're playing golf this weekend, bring it up and remind them that there's more to life than games, that there are important things that need to be done. So here we are, the two Booch brothers, wishing you Godspeed, every blessing on earth, and that you may know that there's a good, better future ahead.
Don't let us down. Don't let the country down. Don't let everybody you love in our country down, because it's all up to us. Every single one of us. It's not only, this guy, that guy, let him take care of it. That's over with now. We have to stand together. We need the right guy in office. And we all know who the right guy is, because he proved it. Everything he said he would do, he did. So let's understand that the only thing we're going to do now is vote right. And the only way we could vote right is for ourselves, for our family, because the United States is one big family. We're all the same. We're all the same for what we believe in. We believe in God and we believe in this country. And without God in the country, we don't have anything. And we got to realize we all have to kneel before God before we stand before any other man. And God wants us to protect our country. Believe me, he's the author and the architect of everything. He made this for us. Don't let them take it from us.
So, as we close, I want to remind you of something I say every week. Only I'm going to say it a little differently this time. Every week I tell you, take somebody in a big bear hug and tell them you love them, because you may be the only one who speaks those words to them. In this way, by standing up and speaking out for America, we are saying to the entire nation, we love you.
And don't forget it.
Stand up and be counted.
Now.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Ciao.